Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of K Factory. I have, in between episodes, solved our diamond problem by using the creative tank, which I forgot that we have multiple times now. But we now have 1.2 million of diamonds, which is the max that I can store in the drawer, I believe. Or possibly not. Definitely not. It's only the first storage upgrade. So that's gonna last us for a while. And what I will do is I'll just grab this drawer, not like that, but like that. And we're gonna come over here. And we're gonna go down here and we're gonna just toss it in the system with a pipe. Like that, like that, like that, like that. Go. So now that's all gonna transfer and we should potentially be able to now craft our infinite storage part. Yes. And now I will not log off until this gets done. So start, go, do your thing. I made a little bit of a quartz duping machine. It is very simple in the way it works. And it's really cool that this constructor blocks a little bit of how the quartz gets popped out. And I'm going to show you like this. You turn on the timer and it turns this on for a little bit and then off for a little bit. So if I turn off my magnet as well, it's going to do its thing. But it does that. And then the quartz gets duped. All picked up. And then a few more stacks exported. It gets duped and all picked up. And this guy does the picking up over here. It goes into this chest, which then gets piped over into the drawer here on top. And eventually you get more quartz than you put in, basically, because it doubles it anyway. And this way we can see how much exactly we have. I'm going to actually tear this down because we don't need it anymore, because I think we have plenty of quartz for all the crafting operations that we need, so it doesn't need to exist in here. You may be wondering how this creative tank duping station thingy works, and it's basically using XNet. Right here where the lantern is a connector that is hooked up to this creative tank, and then down here I have a controller and connectors on all of the casting basins, which just stole my sword. So the casting basins, I just need to extract out of the fluid tank into all of those with an insert. And then I need to extract out of them an item into the ender chest, which is right back here. And I can put the opposite ender chest anywhere I want. I had it here before, but we can put it right here in the wall. So it's kind of nice and hidden away. And that's pretty much it. While we're waiting for our infinite storage disk to craft, we are going to automate the runic altar. And I want to do it in such a way that we have nothing above ground. I want everything hidden underneath and the craft to complete without any problems. So let's just get started. I can now request, let's say 10 runes of fire. Go. And it works. It does its thing. Everything is hidden. Very nice. Looking really good so far. I think it's fully completed. And it works. And you can see automation happening in the background for mana steal, because it's dropping below 256. I like it. It's really cool. So now let me show you how it actually works. It is easiest if I explain it from the top down here. So what happens here, once we request a number of runes, the items get put in with this crafter. But they only get put in one set at a time, and you need a redstone pulse to insert the next set. The redstone pulse comes from this redstone link right over here. And what this means that if I go somewhere where I won't collect items and we request, let's say, runes of water, right? We want, not gonna do 10, let's do 4, so it's gonna do 2 crafts, right? So we'll request this. It put the first set of items in here. It is now crafting down below. And you're going to see second set of items, and it goes down and it starts crafting again. And it's super simple like that. To understand everything that happens down here, we need to understand how the runic altar works. Once we drop items onto the runic altar, like this, it's going to begin crafting and emit a signal strength of 1. And once it receives enough mana, it's going to emit a signal strength of 2. And now this deployer is trying to click it because it wants a living rock on here. And now it finishes crafting. collects all the items, and the craft is completed. What we're basically doing is we're using a red strength comparator to link directly to the runic altar. You can see if I walk back a little bit, you can see the highlighted runic altar up there. And it's basically just reading the redstone signals from the altar directly. So signal strength of 1 once it's ready to start crafting. Signal strength of 2 once it's ready to be clicked, which basically this line triggers up top the second drop of the second set. And then this line over here, it triggers the clutch, which basically turns on the deployer, so it clicks it with a wand of the forest. And the reason that I'm using a deployer instead of just using a dispenser, which you can use, is if I have a dispenser in this slot and pretend it's pointing upwards, it is read by the red stringed comparator. And that messes with the system because I want to read the altar, not the dispenser. So if I want to have everything hidden, which I can have like this, because the deployer is good enough to work through blocks. And just so we're not using the creative motor here, we can put in a electric motor, and we're going to put it to 128, the way we had it before with the thing for the speed. So that's going to be working the same just fine. And to collect the items, we're using a floating Hopperhawk Petite. The Petite version is a smaller version with a smaller radius, so I don't think it should collect items from our mana pools over here. Why are you not getting mana though? Do you not have a spark? Why are all my sparks gone? Something weird has happened. Before I logged on today, I had all my item frames missing, and now all of the sparks are missing, which is super weird. Okay, I need to make the augments again. I put dominant spark augments on all of these, and then I put another mana pool right here that has the dispersive augment, which is gonna charge my greater band of mana in our inventory. And on this guy, I put the recessive spark, so it's gonna transfer mana to all of the mana pools once they start losing a little bit. But the dominant ones are gonna basically just pull as soon as they can from all of the adjacent mana pools. While we're waiting for our craft to finish, I decided to install some garden cloches because we had all of those drawers filled up with all of the fruity vegetable type items that we needed to grow pretty much. So I decided to install 6 on each side, and we're growing most of the things. We're not growing chorus fruit, netherwort, and beetroots because I don't have space. I could potentially put them in the back somewhere, but I think it's all good. And I just noticed I'm missing some copper casing. There we go. So in the back here, we just have a drawer controller hooked up to an external storage. So we see all of those in the system. We have a receiver here, and then we just have importers on all of these. I didn't want to use pipes to go directly into the drawer. We're going to have an infinite storage disk anyway, so it doesn't really matter about items being not in drawers and in the system. So basically over here, we just have some fluid pipe that is transferring the water over to the garden cloches. And then we have just some flux points here in the middle, giving them power, because we pretty much can make an infinite amount of those, so it's not a waste. As you can see in here, we're not crafting anything, which means that our infinite storage part is done. And now we're gonna initiate the craft for the infinite fluid storage part, which is significantly less items, I believe. Yeah, it's only 45k iron, 41,000 quartz. So that's gonna be quicker, I think. Craft. Yeah, it needs to make what, 30,000 of these? Yeah. Well, actually, no. Where are they? 8,000 of the basic processors. To make this guy, I think it was like 160 something thousand basic processors. So I believe we can now take this and craft it with an advanced storage housing. I think I have some. Yes, I have one. Infinite storage disk. Huzzah. It just makes it... Okay. So what we'll do, we'll take this guy and we're going to put it here, and it's going to just transfer everything. It's going to craft a bunch of stuff that we currently don't have in the system. Like all of the requesters are going to turn on, and it's probably going to get a little bit framey here because everything is going to start crafting. Yeah, this took no time at all. We now have the infinite fluid storage disk, and we can turn that into an infinite fluid storage. We can't because we don't have processors. Okay, I need to wait for this to transfer everything and everything to be crafted. Now we can combine these two together to make an infinite fluid storage disk. which means that we can store infinite fluids in the system as well. So that's pretty cool. And by pretty cool, I mean extremely cool. And we basically kinda finished all of the creative items. I didn't really make the creative jetpack, which would mean that I would need to make another creative capacitor, which would mean that I would need to do this craft again. Not this. Is it this that you need to make? Yeah, this. The ultimate catalyst with extended crafting requires gold with the HV capacitors. We did that before. Not gonna do it again, just to get a creative jetpack, just to finish the quest. And I'm also not gonna go into mine colonies. I don't want to deal with it. So we basically finished. We're basically done with the pack. And also, I have this on. We're done. Pretty much done so. And I know I said in the last episode that I want to finish off all of the quests here for blood magic as well, but I don't think we will, because there really is no point right now, because we're pretty much done with the pack. So I'd rather find a new pack to play and move on with that. And I'm thinking Enigmatica 6 Expert sounds nice. What do you think? Let me know down below. Do you want me to see play Enigmatica 6 Expert or something else? The actual final last thing that I did was put in a wall back here just so we don't have an open wall on the end. And I think that's pretty much the base complete. And with that all being said, I want to thank you for coming on this amazing journey through Cave Factory with me. I am really hoping you enjoyed your stay. And if you did, make sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to get notified of when the new series will go live. And I will see you all in the next episode of whatever I decide to make. Maybe Enigmatica 6 Expert. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.